Stephen A. Smith unleashed a scathing and brutal critique of Team USA and Cheryl Reeve, mercilessly mocking them in the wake of their dismal performance at the Olympics, where they faced the disgrace of drawing the worst crowd attendance in the event's history.
This had some observers wondering if the presence of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese would have the stands packed for Team USA. Team USA, led by A'ja Wilson and Breanna Stewart, got off to a dominant start in the 2024 Olympics by beating Japan 102-76. But according to the Olympics official website, Team USA's win over Japan only drew 13,040 fans, which was the lowest attended game among the opening 6 matchups in group play. The Serbia versus Puerto Rico game was the second worst attended game, with 15,324 fans in attendance, while Spain and China had the largest crowd with 27,021 fans in the building. 4 of the 6 opening games drew over 20,000 fans. This had some observers wondering if the presence of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese would have the stands packed for Team USA. Olympic competition is Olympic competition. Nevertheless, for Team USA's game, rife with stars, expected to blow out their competition, they drew the worst crowd.
Run off a pick and roll from the logo. Caitlin Clark is more dangerous there. Well, she struggled. And they started out 0-5. And then all of a sudden, she was overrated.
Once dismissed as one-dimensional, Caitlin Clark now captivates with her multifaceted skills.
Yeah, they beat Minnesota in Minnesota. That's a big deal. And Caitlin Clark, see, that's the thing. There was a player earlier this year that said, she's kind of one-dimensional. All she does is shoot. And I said, well, that player is ill-informed.
Her extraordinary passing ability, refined through her soccer background, is a rare talent.
Because she is a wonderful passer. And you have to have that ability. And sometimes you get it from other sports. She played soccer growing up. To be able to see something before it happens. And that's a lot of what soccer is. It's something happens to something happens, and then it's going to happen over here.
Last night, Caitlin Clark delivered a performance that defied all expectations.
Last night, Caitlin Clark put on a show. 24 points, 19 assists. And that's why I'm watching and I'm kind of laughing at the people who are trying to make this an argument or a discussion that Angel Reese is somehow the Rookie of the Year.
Angel Reese, evoking the dominance of Moses Malone, asserts her undeniable presence.
And this isn't anti-Angel Reese. I told you, she is relentless. She reminds me of Moses Malone. If you're old enough to remember how Moses played, his shot wasn't pretty, but he was relentless. Both ends of the floor.
As teammates, Reese and Clark form a formidable duo challenging Team USA's supremacy.
This is fun. Great storyline. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, teammates going against Team USA. Maybe showing why they, or certainly Caitlin, deserves to be on that team. She's not in the three-point shooting contest that I think has surprised a lot of people. Even Sabrina Ionescu, who went toe-to-toe with Steph Curry at the NBA three-point shooting contest, and she's actually a better three-point shooter than Caitlin Clark.
The innate ability to foresee pivotal moments in sports cannot be simply taught.
To be able to see that, Gretzky had that ability to see maybe 2 or 3, moments before a big play. And it's not something can be learned. I think it's, something instinctual that she has. And they're playing well. I go back to what I said about Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. The WNBA tried to capitalize on her popularity and crammed a lot of games in over a short amount of time, playing against the best teams in the WNBA.
Caitlin's rise from the worst team to securing the #1 pick is a testament to her potential.
But Angel Reese is kind of like Moses Malone. Caitlin Clark is on the worst team. There's a reason why they got the #1 pick. They weren't good. She's making them at least playoff worthy. Now, granted, just about everybody makes the playoffs in the WNBA. But you're watching last night, and she scored or assisted on 66 of her team's 93 points. That's a WNBA record.
Caitlin expresses herself about playing in the All-Star team for the first time.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, I think. Obviously, as two rookies, getting to share this experience for the first time, super rare to be here as a rookie. And then to have two of us here, I think it's just really great overall. I think obviously the fans are going to be very excited about it. But I'm excited to share the court, honestly, with everybody. Meeting new people, this is my first experience here. Obviously, know these two, but everybody else, just getting to know them over the course of the weekend and enjoying the experience.
Standing, shooting, she's a better three-point shooter. On the run, off a pick and roll, from the logo, Caitlin Clark is more dangerous there. And a better shooter, it feels like, on the run, on the move. But stand, they're great shooters who just stand and shoot, like Klay Thompson. He can stand and shoot. There are a lot of guys. Steph Curry's dad, Del Curry, was a wonderful stand and shoot. Dennis Scott, wonderful stand and shoot. There are other players who are better when they're on. Steph Curry can stand and shoot. Well, he can do whatever he wants. But on the run, that's what makes him Steph Curry. And, Caitlin Clark is that kind of three-point shooter.
Early struggles in the WNBA were mere stepping stones in Caitlin's resilient journey.
Well, she struggled. And they started out 0-5. And then all of a sudden, she was overrated. And she had played a full basketball season, little time off, and then you start the WNBA. And you're starting the WNBA against everybody as a really good player. Everybody's talented to get to this point. And they were rested. So I said, once she gets a break and then plays, some of these other teams, then you'll probably see her play similarly to the way she played at Iowa. We're proud to bring home a gold medal here. And Caitlin's been great for the WNBA, and you'll be able to see her on the Olympic team in Los Angeles in 4 years.
The USA basketball make the right move?
I think they whiffed here. I completely believe they lost a golden opportunity.
Everybody knows that the reason why our teams around the league are having sellouts are because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are coming to town.
Would Caitlin step in if a player is too injured to play?
But if there is a player on that roster that's too injured to play and they call you, what would your reaction be?
Yeah, I think it would be a great opportunity. A lot of ifs. So, my main focus is on the Fever.
If they bring Caitlin into the team, they're going to dominate the scoreboard.
You put Caitlin Clark, you put Angel Reese, and you put Cameron Brink.
Yep.
Bare minimum, you put those three. All three of them are superstars. You put three of them on a team, and when you're beating a team by 50, which you eventually will be beating a team by 50, you let them go in there and ball out. Yeah. This is a no-brainer to grow. There are girls in this team that are 41 years old.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How many Olympics have that 41-year-old?
I think 5 or 6.
Get off the team.
Yeah.
Get off the team.
She was the one when they were doing she's the one hating on Caitlin. They were doing a simulcast of one of the Final Four games.
Man, shut your ass up.
She's not going to be that good in the pros. These are grown women she's going against. It's not going to be
Get off the team, yo.
Stop in hating you old piss over. Go home.
Caitlin Clark is the reason why the tickets are sold out.
And I don't know that I quite understand the question, in that everybody knows that the reason why our teams around the league are having sellouts are because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are coming to town. Angel Reese has impacted their attendance at the Chicago games, I suspect on the road as well. So what the league can do is be ready to capitalize on the moments.
USA basketball missed out on a golden opportunity.
Did the USA basketball make the right move?
I think they whiffed here. I completely believe they lost a golden opportunity. You could have got one of those 12 spots. Now look, every woman on that team is deserving. And there are also other women out there who didn't get picked who are deserving.
Caitlin Clark deserves to be part of the USA basketball team.
And I think Caitlin Clark is one of them. If you're going to go with the meritocracy argument, we could chalk up a ton of stuff. But the undeniable thing about Caitlin Clark is how popular she is, how many eyeballs she has brought to the sport. People are discovering women's basketball for the first time, for many, many people, because of Caitlin Clark. She would have been a boon for this Olympic team. Look, this is a sport. It is a game. Brian, it's also a business. You know that better than anybody. It is a business. This would have meant so much for the ratings of the women's Olympic basketball stuff, all of it.
So a couple of things, Michelle. If you're USA Basketball, and you feel pressure because the women are the best in the world, just like the men. I think they won 9 gold medals already. They've only lost 3 games ever. And you don't want to be that coach to get knocked out early, and maybe because you put somebody on there that isn't the top 12 in the world. So far, she's averaged 16 points a game as a pro, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, making 37% of her shots. Solid start, but remember, and you live this, but I was covering it too, UConn basketball, the best player in college basketball, Rebecca Lobo. She was never a dominant in the WNBA. Sometimes you reach your peak in college. She hasn't shown that she's among the best pros yet.
Are you saying her performance the other night with 30 points and 7 threes to tie a rookie record does not show that she's a promising pro? I don't buy it. I just don't. And again, you can sit her on the pine. You can have her the 12th person on your roster. People will still tune in to see if she gets on that floor, to see if she gets to play. These women on the U.S. team are so dominant that you can win with almost any 12 that they decided to pick. So if you want the eyeballs that you say that you want, that you've been asking for decades, if you want the support, you want the boost to this game that you say that you want, then you put the most popular, but not only because she's the most popular, Brian, she's one of the best players on the planet. You do not lose anything by putting her on this roster.
All right, I will say this. People have brought up this analogy. Christian Laettner was put on the dream team, even though he was the best player in college basketball. Shaq was left off of it. Alonzo Mourning was left off. They put Laettner on to develop him. They wanted to have a developing player to play with Jordan and Bird and Magic. A lot of people criticize that. That's what this would have been. Final thought?
Well, maybe it would have been that. I would contend that, men's basketball was already popular. You didn't need Christian Laettner. Women's game needs this woman.
There are reasons why Caitlin Clark is not able to join the USA team.
Why do you think she's been left off the team?
I'm working on that story, Don. I did report in my piece that's on usatoday.com out there, of course, now, that I have 2 sources, impeccable sources, who said that they had heard from various people that a concern was that if Caitlin was put on the team but only got a few minutes of playing time, which would be logical for a rookie on a great team that last lost in 1992, best, most dominant team in sports, what U.S. women's basketball team hasn't lost since 92. If she only got a little playing time, that all of her fans would be upset and would be, I guess, just storming the gates and on radio shows and on social media. I couldn't believe my ears that was a discussion topic in the meetings about the reaction to Caitlin Clark. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to get that pinned down, but those 2 sources are impeccable. And I'm trying to figure out what was going on. And is it a situation where we heard chilly comments, Don, from, as we talked about, Diana Taurasi and Breanna Stewart at the women's Final Four? I asked Diana Taurasi's agent point blank, can you point me to anything positive she's ever said about Caitlin Clark? Never heard back, gave the agent a week to reply. And both of those women are on the team. I'm not saying that anyone in particular is doing this, but as a journalist, it is my job to try to figure out what happened. This is a huge decision. It will continue to reverberate all the way to Paris. And as a journalist, as I said, I want to see what's going on. And could it be that jealousy, rancor, anger towards Caitlin Clark and all the money she's made, and obviously a white woman in a sport that is dominated by black women? Who knows? Something potentially is going on, and I'm going to try to get to the bottom of it.
So there is a range of opinions on this, and I suppose the beauty of this story is that everybody does have an opinion. So I'd like to read you a few thoughts from Jamel Hill. She's a contributing writer for The Atlantic. She said, quote, "People need to stop panicking and putting so much weight on every single decision. The WNBA is going to have Caitlin Clark for a long time. The league isn't going to fall off a cliff if she's not on the team. And Every single decision can't be about placating the optics of a round one player. She went on. Honestly, Caitlin Clark not being on this year's Olympics team is a good thing for her. In the span of a few weeks, she went from playing college ball to becoming a professional to having a grind of a schedule. A multi-week break probably isn't the worst thing in the world. She will eventually make an Olympic team. Christine, what do you think of that perspective?
USA Basketball had the option to select her for the team.
Jamel is a good friend, and I really respect her, and we've known each other for years. Obviously, the decision to take time off or not, which Caitlin will now have because she has that 4-week break, 3-4-week break, that's her decision to make. That's not USA Basketball's. USA Basketball could have put her on the team, and she said, no, I'm tired. It would never have happened, Don, but that's her call. So that's not what USA Basketball was deciding, obviously. And the bigger question and issue, I've covered the Olympics since 1984, and Jamel's been to one or two, but we know the power and the platform of the Olympic Games is unlike anything else in the world. Why did the NHL stop playing for all these various Olympics, literally shut down its season to have all of its pros at the Winter Olympics? Why is the WNBA completely shuttering, so that its 12 players can go and play in the Olympics?
Looks like Cheryl Reeve and the Team USA selection committee might be in a bit of trouble. For this one, we need to head all the way down to Phoenix.
Yeah, if you can promise me that's how it's going to work out this time, I can tell you it was very positive tonight. Really short-sighted of me if I don't take a moment and recognize what a great game it was, what a great environment, fun for people to watch, and we have work to do, right? And we know that.
It's going to be fun, I think. Obviously, as two rookies, like getting to share this experience for the first time, like super rare to be here as a rookie. And then to have two of us here, I think it's just really great overall. I think obviously the fans are going to be very excited about it. But I'm excited to share the court, honestly, with everybody. Like meeting new people, this is my first experience here. Obviously, know these two, but everybody else, like just getting to know them over the course of the weekend and enjoying the experience.
This is going to be a long month for Cheryl Reeve and the Team USA selection committee. What we witnessed yesterday was a massacre. The WNBA team was clearly the better team on the court. Whoever selected these women to go to Paris should be ashamed. Cheryl Reeve and others are making excuses for why this team performed so poorly, but we're going to jump into it all right now.
Tiffany Blackman moments ago caught up with Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin, you all were able to turn up the defensive intensity in this quarter, get some key stops. What did that do for you in the transition game?
Yeah, I think we responded well after we had to use that timeout early in the third. I think turnovers are costing us a little bit. If we can take care of the ball a little bit better, we'll be in a better position, but I thought we did better on the O boards.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark with 18 points, 9 points.
The Team USA selection committee is under fire. Reports are starting to come out from the WNBA pipeline that people are not happy with the team they're sending to Paris. It's being reported that the Team USA selection committee is under extreme heat from WNBA fans following the loss in the All-Star game. While the 2024 WNBA All-Star Weekend was extremely entertaining and one of the best in recent memory, it has led to a lot of controversy for Team USA.
Sometimes it's good that, obviously the adversity, etc. I don't think we needed a game like this to have our attention per se. We know how hard it is to do what we're trying to do, and we just have work to do to get there.
There has already been drama with Indiana Fever star Kelsey Clark's absence from the team, but after the Team WNBA victory, that drama has spread to other players. Multiple players who succeeded in the game proved they're good enough to have a spot on the Team USA roster. The Olympic team losing to players who all missed out on a spot isn't a good look, particularly for the selection committee.
Overall, I think the stuff that we did, we don't really know else what we could do action-wise. We need feedback, right? So get a little more pressure in the paint, a little more pressure on the rim. I thought Dorica had some good moments in the second half. Watch it back. I'm not sure if we're going to love that we were small. Maybe we should have stayed big and get a little more pressure on the inside. But analytics during the game showed us that we were better small, so we did it.
As one fan pointed out, this is not a good look. Don Staley is on this committee. Cheryl Reeve is on this committee. And everybody else is trying to be quiet like they aren't. From what I'm hearing, they're silent and avoiding the spotlight. But whatever the case, they have definitely dropped the ball. People are not happy. This is the team we're sending to Paris, and we better hope they win gold. If they don't, I can assure you the fans will make it clear that they were not happy with this decision.
A lot. Like, I tried to watch the WNBA as much as I could. I mean, Maya Moore was my favorite player growing up. I can't remember like specifically like one All-Star game. That's tough for me. But I mean, I always watch. Like, I was a huge supporter.
Cheryl Reeve has been making excuses about this whole thing. The commissioner opened up about the increase in interest across the league, but didn't give Caitlin Clark any praise. We're going to roll it all out right now.
I mean, I think it's been happening, prior even to this team. This momentum, this wave, that we're feeling. It has been sort of this kind of journey for women's basketball to get the attention that it is, getting at this point. So I think we mirror what's happening, obviously in the WNBA. And, I think hopefully this team can uphold, sort of the culture and the level of success and compete. And but I don't necessarily know that this team is going to be, the team that changes things. I think we're continuing to, be on that upward trajectory, and this team has absolutely been a part of that.
That was Team USA coach Cheryl Reeve speaking with reporters yesterday, kind of making excuses for the loss. Moving on to the commissioner, she spoke about all these increases within the league, and she's ecstatic about them, which she has every right to be.
It was the same, I think 4 years prior. I'm pretty sure the Team WNBA beat Team USA. They were perfectly fine in the Olympics. I think if anything, it shows how good this league is. It shows how much talent is in this league and how you have to show up and prepare every single night, because there's a lot of players that aren't even here on All-Star Weekend that can, be here and be in these moments too. It just shows the amount of talent that we have.
You've got to give praise to Caitlin Clark. None of this stuff would be happening without Caitlin Clark. She went on a whole rant about all these increases, like the league is just on fire because everyone suddenly loves the WNBA. No, that's not the case.
And rim, she'll get to the rim, which is something this group without Fee desperately needs. And that's another player that we're just asking for her to, when she comes in the game, not feel it out. You got to come in and impact it right away. She knows that, we're going to live with whatever shot she takes. And some of them are, maybe a little harder. But in order for a player to be aggressive, they have to know, that you're not going to, limit what shots and where. And I think Chechi's benefited from that.
Cheryl Reeve has been making excuses about this whole thing. The commissioner opened up about the increase in interest across the league, but didn't give Caitlin Clark any praise.
It's awesome, and to be a part of this, to see it grow, it's super special. I'm happy for the players that have been in this league for a really long time to have moments like these and opportunities like these, because they've deserved it. It's been a long time coming, but honestly, I feel like we're just scratching the surface. Like you said, the 2 expansion teams that already announced and are, going to be coming over the course of the next 2 years, that's only going to help the league grow. It's going to get more eyeballs, get us into new markets. The new media rights deal, that's going to help. So it's just, day by day, year by year, it's only going to continue to get better, and it's going to give people an opportunity to see how good women's basketball is from a professional level, but everybody knows how good the talent is in the college level, and you want to continue to get more of those players into this league, because there's so many fans at the college level, and continue to bring those fans here. So for myself, I'm just very thankful and grateful, and if I can help in any way, that's all I'm trying to do, is continue to bring people to want to support this game.
In contrast, the selected Team USA players struggled defensively, allowing over 60 points in the paint. This defensive lapse was a critical factor in their defeat.
Yeah, I think obviously Cheryl, she's one of the pioneers of our game and just an awesome individual. Her personality just radiates. Being around her, it just makes you smile. She's just such a cool human. So for her to get to coach us, super exciting for me. I was super excited when I heard that news. Just a great opportunity to be around somebody that's given so much to this game, and to get to enjoy this, my first experience with her, honestly.
Kind of the same with what they've been saying. Cheryl Miller told us that she wanted to win, and she made it clear and cut, and asked us how y'all want to do this. And I think we grow to appreciate it because at the end of the day, we're competitors, and what she's done for us and paved the way to even for us to be here. We're internally grateful for her, and I think that we only can do right by her by competing as best as we can tomorrow.
Next question to your left, in the fourth row, Cassandra.
Cassandra Negley with Yahoo Sports. For Caitlin and Aaliyah, when the Mercury practice facility opened, Diana talked about how it was for the future and continuing to level up. Caitlin, you're in your first All-Star. Aaliyah, your second. What is it like to be here in Phoenix, knowing that you are that next generation to keep leveling up?
Yeah, it's super cool. And obviously their practice facility is amazing. And obviously the court being named after DT, like that's something she really deserves. And I think it's super cool. And I think their owner, Matt Ishbia, has done a great job of not only putting on this whole weekend, but being very invested into their team and giving them all the resources in the world to be great. I think it's something that is needed, and they definitely deserve it. But yeah, I mean, it's cool for us to share this experience together as two young players in this game, and there's so many young stars. I think like it's going to continue to grow forward, and yeah, I mean, that's kind of what he came and talked to us. Their owner came and talked to us after practice today, and that's what he kind of said. Like, we want this to be the start of continuing to just move the game forward and being celebrated and give you guys everything that you deserve. So I think it was super cool opportunity.
Really exciting. It's not surprising. I think it was important that we valued ourselves in this negotiation.
Rookie of the Year, Kelton Clark and Cheryl Reeve, recently partnered for a big TV deal that can change the WNBA.
In the perfect timing, they're going to get a new TV deal, which is going to obliterate the old TV deal.
They have maintained a strong commitment to covering women's sports over the years, unlike other media in our market.
I think your commitment through the years in covering women's sports is not shared by, the broader media in our market.
Their social media game is improving our coverage, but they've still got more ground to cover.
We've improved our coverage in our market for sure, but it is not at the level that it should be at this point, given the magnitude of the events that we have had. Whether it's WNBA championships, multiple times, and whether it's when we hosted the All-Star game, whatever it is. And so, we've got another step to go. I'm really hopeful that the current events in covering women's sports, how things are changing very rapidly, that our market is one that will grab a hold and share your passion for it.
The USA experience was the catalyst for her career trajectory. That was a turning point that launched her career.
Yeah, I think Ka's the epitome of a career trajectory, in that her first USAB experience, was one in terms of where she was at in the league, that, it was typical first experience. She had a lot to learn, a lot to figure out.
She kicked off her WNBA journey and ended up snagging the MVP in the finals.
But she started figuring that out in the WNBA, obviously, as we know, with culminating in an MVP in the finals. And she just keeps growing. She's got a great work ethic, great passion for the game, and so I think it's notable. I think, like you said a little bit later in her career, I think that's notable for players, that they understand. We were just having this conversation that it may not be your time when you're younger. Maybe there's just people at your position. Maybe you still have a little bit to add to your game, whatever it is. And, being patient in that process.
Recognizing our value was key in this negotiation, making sure we held our ground.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's not surprising. I think it was important that, we valued ourselves in this negotiation. It's certainly helpful to have this rookie class, led by Caitlin, who, is sort of driving, the media, the interest, the business.
Cheryl's making sure she knows what the WNBA's got in store for the beginning of the season.
And so I think making sure that, I said this in the beginning of the season, what can the WNBA do? We can take advantage and not sell ourselves short. And also have a vision for the future, where this league is headed, like all pro sports leagues that we have seen, NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL. There is an evolution to a sports league. and we're in our evolution. This is our moment to take that next step.
According to Caitlin, Cheryl's a trailblazer in the sport and just a really cool individual.
Yeah, I think obviously Cheryl, she's like one of the pioneers of our game and just an awesome individual. Like her personality just radiates, like being around her, it just makes you smile. Like she's just such a cool human. So for her to get to coach us, like super exciting for me. I was super excited when I heard that news. Like just a great opportunity to be around somebody that's given so much to this game and to get to enjoy this, my first experience with her, honestly. It's awesome, and to be a part of this, like to see it grow, it's super special. I'm happy for the players that have been in this league for a really long time to have moments like these and opportunities like these because they've deserved it. It's been a long time coming, but honestly, like I feel like we're just scratching the surface. Like you said, the 2 expansion teams that already announced and are going to be coming over the course of the next 2 years, like that's only going to help the league grow. It's going to get more eyeballs, get us into new markets. The new media rights deal, that's going to help. So it's just, day by day, year by year, like it's only going to continue to get better, and it's going to give people an opportunity to see how good women's basketball is.
One of the greatest competitors that the league or women's basketball has ever seen, or sports have ever seen. One of the all-time greatest competitors. It's a player that we have loved to hate as an opponent, but that means you are really, really doing something great. She's done it all in big games, won us big games, makes big shots. Her level of compete, her understanding of the game, what should happen, her understanding of her teammates, how to put them in position to be successful.
It's truly fascinating to delve into everything that's been happening in the WNBA recently, from the standout performances on the court to the impactful social initiatives off the court.
Did you guys see this note? It's really interesting what's happened to the WNBA. In the perfect timing, they're going to get a new TV deal, which is going to obliterate the old TV deal. They're still going to lose money this year doing the charter flights. I think putting cart before horse is a little bit much, but the Caitlin Clark effect is real. It just is. And the latest sign is that they got 3.44 million people watched the WNBA All-Star Game on ABC, topping the previous record of 1.44 million. So 2 million more people watched the WNBA All-Star Game, in which the WNBA All-Stars beat Team USA. Anyway, 2 million more people watched. And I mean, I can't equate every one of those 2 million people to be because of Caitlin Clark. Her whole act, her whole bravado is so it's not just unbecoming of somebody who's a coach, but your job when you're USA basketball, the coach USA basketball, like you're a champion of the game. You're growing the game, and there just isn't. Like, there's a coach speak code that everyone knows, and she refuses, and it shows her what has to be an insecurity, right? She feels like Shooter McGavin. That's what she feels like. I was too busy winning.
Caitlin took the worst team in the WNBA, had a rough start in the first year, and now they're actually competitive.
Like, all right, dude, but she took the worst team in the WNBA. They're terrible to start the year, and now they're competitive. And, oh, yeah, by the way, she's really good, and people care. They want to watch her play. And when put in a situation where you have better players around her, she becomes a facilitator. Like, I don't understand what her deal is other than some massive, massive insecurity. And as we've said before, she is the embodiment of what's wrong with what's hard with women in the workplace, is that the biggest challenge, biggest hurdle for women to get over in the workplace is other women.
You know what the average attendance is when Caitlin Clark plays home or the road?
What?
15,300.
Wow.
Okay? 15,300. Do you know what Caitlin Clark just got the contract from Nike?
Nike.
You know what the contract is?
I want to say it's $3 million a year for 8 to 10 years. It's almost $30 million, something like that.
Right there. Look at this. Caitlin Clark gets 15,591 fans in attendance, 105% increase compared to the average game is 76.45. Can you pull up what Caitlin Clark just got? What is the Nike contract with Caitlin Clark? Nike contract, $28 million is what the contract is. Okay? This is WNBA is paying Caitlin Clark $28 million Good for freaking you. You know what America loves? Let me break it down for you. We absolutely love one thing. You know what it is? Underdogs. Caitlin Clark is an underdog. We don't care if it's WNBA. We don't care if it's the UFC and they said, Dana, you'll never make it. We don't care if it's a presidential candidate. We don't care if it's a comedian. We don't care if it's a businessman. We don't care if it's a podcaster. We don't care if it's a fighter. We don't care if it's anything. We don't care about your color. We don't care if you're married, single, divorced. We don't care about anything. We love humble underdogs. We just do. We love an underdog that comes in, that's got a fight, that wants to go out there and do it. And Caitlin Clark's doing it. And she's getting all these eyeballs. And I'm so happy for her to get the $28 million.